You are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Yo, YouTube, what up? Welcome back to another video. My bad, YouTube and Rumble. What's up wherever you're watching this? Welcome to another video. This is Channel Adrian TV. And before we get into the video, I want y'all to please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you see anything you want me to react to, sports, the dynamics between men and women, or an Ask Adrian question about your own personal life, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can hit me up on one of my social media platforms. They'll be pinned in the description. And y'all, welcome to the video. As you've seen the title of is how a man who was divorced and lost everything was able to get it all back and become a Wall Street millionaire. Now, I know I've had said there are some times to where the hole could be so deep you can't dig yourself out of, but I do like running across success stories like this so men and women can both learn from, because he said a lot of things that I've also said in a lot of my videos and things that everybody can learn from. So I'm going to play you the video, give you some thoughts of what I thought about the video, and respond to some comments. So let's get to the video.
Question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
Multiple times.
Yeah? Quick question for you.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living out here in New York City?
I work on Wall Street.
And how long have you been in finance for?
15, 16 years.
Yeah? I go all over the country just asking successful people how they made it for the younger generation. Can I get just 1 minute of your time real quick?
Yeah.
What was the worst financial decision that you made throughout your career?
Oh man, getting married, man. Getting married, man. My divorce wiped me out. Marriage is a business. I didn't look at it like that. I'm being honest. Wiped me out, had to start over from scratch. But the beauty of it is once you have it in you internally to build, you have the dog in you, the fight in you, doesn't matter. You'll always rebuild. It's not about losing it. And anybody listening, it's not about losing it. What it's really about is this. It's about recovery time. See, if you lose it at 20, you're probably in your early 20s, mid 20s. It's okay. You have recovery time. You're young. I'm 45. I'll be 46 in 2 months. If you lose it in your 40s, your mid 30s, terrible. Also, they say you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around with. A lot of times people try to use socializing for networking. You're really not networking. You just want to be social. Anytime you interact with someone, you must always ask yourself, what are we exchanging? Now, real quick before we go, last thing, the universe teaches us this. What do you do every day? We breathe, we inhale, and we exhale. You take in the oxygen and you give out the carbon dioxide, right? And the trees, your environment, takes in the dioxide and gives you back oxygen. So there's a bartering between you and the universe, the ecosystem. Inhale, exhale. With everything in life, you got to apply that science to your life. Like, what is the exchange here? The people you interact with, what are they? What's the bartering? What are they? Are they an asset? Is it a liability? What are we exchanging here?
Yeah, and a good video. And he said a few things, but first let's start with what he said about how marriage is a business. We all have known, I do believe that's true. And a lot of people, men and women both, come at me for this and they'll say, well, Adrian, what about the relationship? I'm like, I get that, but you got to think it's a business. You're signing a contract with that other person and the government. It's no different than an LLC. If you have an LLC, let's say me and you form an LLC, and for whatever reason, we want to sell the company or go our separate ways, we have to divide that money and come to an agreement because of the contract. It's no different thing than marriage. And I want people to understand this. Just because I won't get legally married, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you do. Just need to understand the consequences that come with that. And I know a lot of people do say, well, what would be the point for a woman leaving you if you're doing everything right in a relationship or marriage? Well, I counteract that point with, what about if you're not doing everything? Remember, I've said in videos, if you become lazy and become overweight, I will leave you. That's one of my boundaries. It's no different on the flip side. If a woman tells me, Adrian, if you get lazy and you're not able to perform financially, I will leave you. I have no problem with that. Love is conditional for everybody. Now, if you want to say who has that more, if you want to say who has more of those conditions, I would say women have those more conditions on men because of their requirements, and men's list is not that long, but that would be a whole nother video. But I do agree with what he said, that marriage is a business, and if you do marry the wrong person and you get divorced, you could be taken to the cleaners. And he talked about recovery time, but before he went to recovery time, he talked about if you have it in you. And this is what I talk about, especially when I tell a lot of my homegirls, you want to date a winner. You want to date someone that has that dog in them to become successful no matter what. Now, of course, I mean legally, but hopefully you understand what I mean. The man that's willing to do the extra so you can get a better life. Because I do believe, and I know y'all may have heard this example, let's just say everybody starts out zero or everybody starts with $1 million. The people who are driven and smart with money, they're gonna find a way to make that 1 million stretch into 2 million, 3 million, 7 and 4, those people who are bad with money, lazy, don't have no type of drive, don't have any type of ambition, they're gonna be broke again. And that's really what he's talking about. And then when he talks about the recovery time, there's a lot of people, successful people, who take L's, but they don't take long to recover. It don't take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years for them to recover. Especially if they learned how to get it, they learn from their mistakes and they're able to pick up where they left off within a year or so. And that's really what he's saying, because if you make mistakes in your 20s, you can recover. But if you make mistakes in your 30s and 40s, it's very hard. That's why, like he said, with divorce, it's a business and it could wipe you out. And that's why people who are in their 30s or 40s who are in bad relationships or bad marriages, I should say, stay, is because since they are so old, they can't afford to make any type of financial decisions that's going to ruin them, like this man in the video, but he was able to persevere and become successful. And he said something important. You know how this saying goes, you're the sum of your 5 people around you, but he talked about actually socializing and networking. There's a difference. Just because you're hanging around successful people, if you're not networking, you're just really socializing. You're not getting anything from that. That's why I say you should be around people who give you knowledge, who make you become better. Because I know this one woman, she was complaining, I'm broke and I'm fat. And I told her, well, look at the people you're around are broke and fat. Your husband, your friends, everybody around you. That's why. Now I know people definition of broke, it varies. To me, very simple. If you don't have 6 months to a year saved, you're broke. That's just my personal opinion. This is why I say I would never get legally married, is because people could fall off. People could fall off. People could get in an emotional rut to where they don't want to improve, and that's fine. But see, for me, I stay with positivity. I'm always around positive people. I'm always around people who are working to become better. And if I see you're starting to go on a bad road, get a bad attitude that's going to drag me down, I'm going to leave. Now, I have no problem with a man does that or a woman does that, because at the end of the day, you need to focus on you. If that person is in a bad state, you can only do so much to help. Finally, he said, what are we exchanging? And that's why I say the people around you, they have to give you value. Just like I give value back to people, that person that you're with or friends with have to give you value. If they're not giving you value back, you need to really evaluate the people you hang around. Now, I know a lot of people that can ruffle some feathers because that deals with a lot of friends and family. But just as I've always said, your friends and family can be good people, but they can have a loser's mentality, or they just can be losers to where they don't want to improve. They want to be broke. They want to have a 500 credit score. They want to be fat. Now, if you want those things, that's fine. But for me and what I want for my life, that's not my type of mindset. That's not even how I move. So why would I want to be around that? And now let's react to a few commenters' comments. One commenter said, experienced divorce lawyer here. Marriage is a terrible idea for ambitious people. Stay safe, stay single. Now, as I said earlier in the video, if you do want to get married, more power to you. I would never get legally married. I'm only saying that so y'all know where I'm coming from. But I do understand, because of certain rules and regulations when it comes to marriage, if you're the breadwinner and you leave, you could get taken to the cleaners and be so broke, you might have to get a roommate or literally start from scratch. Now, I know that varies with every situation, but I do get what this commenter is saying. And another commenter said, marriage is a business. And y'all know I agree with that. And another commenter said, this gotta be staged. No way this dude had all that just ready to spew out randomly. And that kind of tells me that person's mindset, because if you're around individuals who are like-minded, like that young man was talking to that adult, he'll give you game. And this is why I said you have to be around people who want to improve in life, because you see that free flowing of information, how he didn't mind, because that young man, you could tell he was driven, especially just from filming videos on social media about people who are successful. That could tell that man a lot about him. So to me, that's not random. I hang around with and socialize with men who move like that. So to me, that flow of information is common. It's just a majority of men or women, they don't have the right group because they're surrounded by too many small-minded people, losers, or both. And one commenter said, Marrying the wrong person will wipe you out, not marriage. I get what she's saying. In other words, the relationship, if you marry the right person, the relationship will go bad to where you get divorced. And this is why I say women mostly look at it from their point of view. But what about my point of view? Like I said, this is a very big example. When I tell women, you have to stay fit. If you become fat, I will leave you. And I've had women tell me, Adrian, I can't have nothing serious with you because say if I want to get lazy and get fat, you'll leave me. I'm like, of course. I told you that's one of my boundaries. And this is what I've noticed when you're talking about this situation. Most women only view it as them breaking up with you, but they never see it as the man breaking up with them. And for that could be a whole nother can of worms and a different video I'll do on that. One commenter said, 99% of women in the comment section are opposing his point on marriage. What does that tell you, gentlemen? Well, it's like I said, most women are used to breaking up with most men. The majority of women file 70% of the time for divorce. So most women are looking at it from their lens, but they're not looking at it from a male's point of view. And another commenter said, he gave some solid advice. And one commenter who happens to be a woman, she agreed, marriage is a business. I love running across stories like this. We all have our own preferences and own beliefs, but I just like showing stuff like this because it shows both sides of the fence. Now, as long as you're educated about marriage and you plan on being successful and you talk about that with your significant other, you talk about prenups and postnups, so you understand where everyone stands. And like I've said, even though I would never get legally married, I have no qualms, or anybody who does. All I'm just saying is become educated and understand everything you're getting into, because once you sign that dotted line and become married and it becomes too late and you get taken to the cleaners, you may not be able to recover. But men and women, I hope you enjoyed this video because I love success stories like that. It makes me want to continue to work more. So men and women, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And regardless if you decide to get legally married or not, continue to work hard, and I'll see y'all in the next video.